So of course everybody decided to text and call me at the same time the moment I decided to start making a video, and I've been bored for literally a week not hearing from anyone, but we're all psychically connected, so people probably sense the energy. I turned my Wi-Fi off so that hopefully that won't happen again, and I'll get better at this, but to be honest, I want to be raw and I just want to like say what I need to say when I need to say it. First take, just like Alanis Morissette does. So, back to what I was saying. Um, the Scorpio aspect is aligned with the Taurus aspect, like I was saying. So, for the Scorpio aspects that we're tapping into, whether or not we're a Scorpio, is the fact that the fact that people have become attached to codependent relationships or destructive relationships or parts and aspects of relationships that aren't serving our ability to be happy and function and be healthy or be at peace. And what I am imploring people to do for this full moon and this lunar eclipse cosmic shift is to really take time to focus on changing their relationships into being something that's beneficial for them. Now, this is, you're going to have already been feeling a disconnection from the aspects or people in which you need to either disconnect from or shift or change the relationship in some way. And then you are going to figure out exactly what it is you need to be happy in your life. And then from there, I want you to move forward and then go tell the people in your life that you want to keep in your life, that your boundaries and needs about how you would like to function now, so that you can actually be a happy, productive, and person that's at peace. And so there's that aspect, and some of you probably have already been feeling that and already have been working on that within yourselves. Or maybe you've just been feeling a general disconnection from certain people or everybody or certain aspects. So now that you know why you're feeling that way, you can utilize that aspect of this shift. And the other aspect of this shift is the fact that the full moon is happening on top of the Taurus constellation, meaning that the Taurus energy is going to be transmuted through the moon, which is rare because Taurus is an earth sign and it's very connected to the earth. So generally, it's not as connected to the cosmos and the moon. And Scorpio being a water sign is more affected by the moon because of the tides and water and so on. But in this case, the giant rock of the Taurus is actually going to be affected by the moon energy. So that being said, the moon energy affecting the Taurus as the rock is going to charge it up energetically, and it does. You don't have to be a Taurus for this to affect you either. You can be channeling the Taurian energy from the constellation through the moon for yourself, no matter whether it's in your chart or not. And you can use that aspect to be introspective and decide the person that you want to be from your own personal choice. Now, you might already think you are the person that you want to be, um, upon your own personal choice and your own programming and the things that you've done in your life. But actually, most likely, a big part of who you are, or at least part of who you are, is going to have been something that was created subconsciously by you in order for you to survive your environment or in order for you to cope with your environment. So Tauruses very much are adaptive creatures that adapt to their environment and such. And the Taurian aspect is usually a stubborn, and that doesn't have to be a negative thing, a stubborn sort of aspect of being able to make sure that their needs are met, or that their happiness is important, and having to stick up for themselves or for other people in this way. They want to make sure that the important things stay in place. That's the evolved aspect of the Taurian. So the protection of what's important. So sometimes the protection of what's important may have become something that wasn't necessary or isn't necessary anymore, or could be destructive and you don't notice because you got used to it. So having to live in a certain environment or under certain circumstances, and then even if you have passed the environment or those circumstances, you may carry on some of those stubborn habits that you didn't need or thought processes that you didn't need. And what this full moon and lunar eclipse is going to implore the Taurian aspect of yourself to do is create a self that actually is of your own choice. Now, this one is, the looking into your relationships and how you want to be happy, and that could be hard because you have to disconnect from people and disconnect from doing things and really look at yourself and feel yourself and think about how things have been affecting you, and that in itself is really hard. But this second Taurian aspect of the change and the shift is actually even harder. The second Taurian aspect of the shift is harder because people don't want to admit that they are not the selves that they want to be, or they're not the selves that they created on their own. Hopefully you can find it within yourself to admit that you've been affected by your environment or you've been programmed by something, and that you can let go of things and actually create a self that is of your own creation, and one that can serve better your family and serve better your community, not just to be, selfish. So spend time thinking about not just what you want, but also what the people in your life want and need from you. And if you're going to include them, then take that into account and try to create the self that will best serve the future that you are trying to reach. So if the future you're trying to reach has a certain goal or includes a certain person, maybe you haven't been taking that goal or that person into account enough, and maybe you need to check in more with those kind of people too. So the Scorpio shift, then the Taurus shift. That's how we're going to look at it, because the Scorpio, we're actually in Scorpio right now. We're aligned with Taurus, but the Taurus time of the year will come later. So that's the order that it's going to go in. And so if you can put work into yourself in both of these ways right now, it can be very beneficial towards you having much better relationships and a much better multiverse, because it's a multiverse shift. And what we're having right now is a whole bunch of energy projected on us by the longest full moon of the year, and then that moon is going to be being eclipsed, which means it's going to disappear, which means we're going to be used to feeling an intense energy, which will suddenly disappear. And you've probably already been kind of feeling that way. You've probably already been kind of feeling maybe slightly alone or isolated, or maybe possibly even abandoned, because you have to let go of certain parts of programming within yourself during this shift. And equally so, it's going to be like having a whole bunch of love and then it just disappears. And then do you feel at peace with that love when that love isn't present in the immediate? Do you feel at peace with the things that are happening when they stop and you finally have a moment of the void of space of darkness to actually go, okay, this is what has been happening and now I know how that makes me feel. So what we want is to be able to be having a life that when things are happening, they make us feel so good and so at peace and are so right for our goals, that when they go away, that we're able to reflect on them and feel at peace and feel positive about it. So a quick on off switch like that is the best thing to test that. So I would say write down the aspects about your relationships and how you want them to change, how you want to change yourself. Really put a lot of thought into it and keep into account that there is going to be parts of yourself that need to change, and things that were programmed and things that you need to get rid of and things that were stimulated by your environment and past traumas that you need to get past. And let yourself cry and let yourself do whatever you need to do, so that, and even if you miss the exact full moon or the exact time of the eclipse, know that this energy, just like any energy, it has a bleed off and it's going to last for a while after this too, so you have time to continue to work on this. So just allow yourself to try, either now or within the next few days, to take time to do this, and try to also introspect on what you've already been thinking and feeling in the morning and at night and during meditation, and when you actually take time to stop, so that you could positively make this multiverse shift happen, because we're shifting out of physical reality and more into a non-physical reality where the multiverse is directly manifesting our thoughts and feelings into matter. So we're already at that point. We're already manifesting the universe. It's just that at this point, because we've graduated into that slowly, we're still attached to this physical universe, so we're still manifesting it as a physical universe until we're ready to let go and transcend onto the next plane where we don't have bodies, which will probably be at the end of this particular lifetime for most of us, because there is not going to be a lot of reincarnation happening on this planet. Even the Dalai Lama has said so. So, that being said, it's time to practice your multiverse shift. And what your multiverse shift is it's just basically how you feel taking you into a different dimension and being able to consciously decide what that dimension is and then open the portal through your feeling and walk through. It can be quite difficult to transmute and conclude your processes of traumas and thoughts and goals in order to be able to do that. It might take time. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Just make sure that you're ready before the full moon and the winter solstice shift that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of solar flares hitting, and that's going to cause a lot of heightened radiation on the planet that will affect your bodies and your consciousness. So this is a good time to get prepared for that. And oh, and the last aspect that I wanted to talk about this shift is the fact that also, if you are a Scorpio or a Taurus, um, and you have a connection with a Scorpio or a Taurus. In other words, if you're a Taurus and you have a Scorpio in your life or vice versa, this is going to be an extremely important shift for you. So, that being said, make sure that those relationships are really focused on and cultivated, because together you will be able to create a very, very important friendship union, business union, intimate union, and you will be able to together manifest a very, very positive reality within your relationship, because they are exact opposites on the zodiac wheel. They bring balance to each other, and cosmically they are known to have a very sacred relationship. So, I myself am betrothed to Taurus. I every guy that I date ends up being a Taurus. I don't go out and seek them. It just happens. So, that being said, I have met many Tauruses that say that they have a special connection with Scorpios and Scorpios with Tauruses. So, for those of you out there that have any kind of a Scorpio Taurus union and on any level, know that this is the time to cultivate those relationships very strongly. And whether or not you have to video chat or talk on the phone, make sure that you are cooperatively working with each other through these experiences. And you don't have to be a Taurus or a Scorpio for that to be the aspect either. It could be somewhere in your chart, or it could not be in your chart at all. Either way, make sure that whatever you are deciding that you want to change into and that you want to change into with other people is focused on very strongly. And take the time, especially in the morning, at night, to feel yourself, pay attention to your dreams, write things down, and get prepared for this major cosmic shift that's going to be happening next month. And make sure that this one suits you as a bridge towards the gateway of the eventual reality where you will be transcending into the dimension of light. And I wish the best for you.